So for this play session, I was curious to head back out and test stealth gameplay, as I had not attempted a stealth mission since phase 1, and back then AI were basically operating under a hive mind. Actions that were not witnessed by NPCs would often still draw hostility of the entire settlement, making stealth extremely difficult, but for all the wrong reasons. I also wanted to see how the use of the SRV would complement settlement-based missions, as there are quite a few features of the SRV that provide a lot of flexibility to the player. The missions I would be taking were all based on Massacre 6A. One thing I really like is that same planet missions are available. That is, missions set on the very planet you are already on. This adds a nice sense of getting involved in local events. I could see spending extended lengths of time on individual planets with features like this. The day's events would turn out particularly bad for the target settlement, but are also kind of funny in a dark way. The first mission I accepted was to assassinate a specific member of the security staff, without triggering an alarm. In the hangar here we can see something that I forgot to mention in my last phase 2 video. The ships have had a bit of a facelift, and now look really amazing. Even when right up close, with the old presentation the scale of the ships meant that details could perhaps look too large to be scaled correctly to the size of a human. And I guess we are all still waiting to see the cutter's entry stairs, but on the ships I've looked at, the new detail level is amazing. Because this is an infiltration mission, I would once again be using the Maverick suit. This eliminates the risk involved with cloning a security clearance, as you can just cut your way into structures that are locked. Upon arriving at the settlement, I landed the DBS some distance away and set out on foot.
Warning, low temperature detected, low gravity detected.
I would need to find a terminal to see information on the staff here, but all the structures required security clearance, so I would have to find an opportunity to break in. On my first attempt to cut into one of the industrial structures, I was startled by the drone and then noticed the guard approaching. Maybe another way in would be best. After waiting for the guard to stroll away, I find my moment. I have noticed that the art cutter feels different in this phase. It no longer seems to track the edge of the panel by itself, instead requiring more careful control by the player. I'm not sure how I feel about this yet. On the one hand it's more realistic, but then again, being able to cut through any point of the panel would also be more realistic.
Overload in progress. Overload complete. Entering pressurized environment.
But having gained entry to this structure, I quickly find a terminal, and the staff nearby, while unwelcoming, are no threat of detecting my true intentions. Kimberly Lee was our target, a security officer with level 3 clearance. She was located in the command structure, and so a little more arc cutting would be needed. It was time to carefully move in for the kill.
Overload complete.
The target was in conversation with another NPC, and there were other guards present. I already had a bounty in the system, and so getting scanned would definitely trigger an alarm. I'd need to be very careful. The target was heading into a restricted area. It was now or never.
Watch yourself. Just a minute, Commander.
Overload complete. Scan detected. Mission status updated.
Overcharged to death, and no alarms. So time to make a speedy exit. On the way out though, I failed to stop for a scan. This would incur the wrath of the security, but note that killing the target did not immediately turn everyone hostile this time around. I make a fast sprint for the edge of the settlement, and a little ways out, the drone starts shooting at me. In the distance behind me I can see the guards searching with flashlights, but I am long gone. Finding cover from the drone, I recall my ship, and I'm ready to leave. A successful infiltration, with maybe a little bit of a messy ending. In terms of AI performance on the mission, I felt that it worked far better than Phase 1. I was able to kill the target with the multi-tool without alerting the rest of the guards. Even after evading a scan, the alarms were not automatically triggered. Seeing the guards out searching with flashlights was also a nice touch. I would return to the planetside hub, which ironically is actually a detention centre, and collect my reward. Now here's where things get quite amusing. So I had just been paid 1.2 million credits for carrying out a stealthy assassination without setting off any alarms. Now, the same employer, not 20 minutes later, is asking that I go in and just murder everyone. Just kill all of them. Empty the place out for 500 grand. Not being one to turn my nose up at credits, I accept. I just find the implied chain of events here quite funny. It was so important not to trigger an alarm on the first run that it would cause a mission failure. The body is still warm, and now we have the green light to just massacre the place. Alarms be damned. The mission brief did state that they are aware that I am coming, so I'd be using the Dominator suit this time around, and more importantly, would be making my initial attack in the SRV.
Drive assist on. Low gravity
I drop in about 1.5 kilometers from the settlement. There would be rough terrain to cross on the way, but using the SRV turret I could get an idea of what defensive preparations they had made. The security personnel would flock to defend the settlement, but the SRV is a formidable weapon at this scale and cuts through human targets extremely easily.
Target shields online. Target destroyed. Target shields offline. Target destroyed. Target shields offline. Target destroyed. Target shields offline. Target destroyed.
The SRV is still a little cumbersome to drive, and so there are still risks. Letting guards get close with the plasma weapons means losing your shield can occur very quickly.
Under attack. Target shields offline. Shields offline.
Putting them down though is still quick work.
Battery incoming. Target shields offline. Target destroyed. Target destroyed. Target destroyed. Target destroyed.
It isn't actually long before resistance stops coming. I think maybe all the guards have been killed. I attack a turret, but these do not seem to be active at present, and so it's time to disembark and head in on foot, stalking from building to building, eliminating the staff, stopping to clone a security clearance from a dead guard along the way.
Shield activated. Warning. Low temperature detected. Low gravity detected. Security profile cloned. Entering pressurized environment.
In one of the industrial buildings I find my first target, and a chance to upgrade my security clearance again.
Warning. Suit power loss imminent. Security profile closed. Shield offline. Shield online. Suit fully charged.
Next, it is onto the command structure, and by now the settlement turrets have been activated, but we can shut them down again shortly.
Entering pressurized environment. Security profile cloned. Entering.
There is no one in the operations room, but here we can at least shut down most of the settlement's defences.
Point defense turrets disabled. Anti-ship turrets disabled. Anti-personnel turrets disabled.
In the power plant we find another target, and while here, I decide that when I'm done killing, I'm mostly going to steal the power regulator to truly kill off this settlement.
Pressurized environment. Entering pressurized environment. Shield offline. Mission status updated. Shield on.
With all the targets dead, I head back to the power plant. The turrets have come back online, but that's no problem really. The power regulator will take a while to shut down, and so I decide to go grab the SRV in the meantime.
Drive assist on.
Having the power off does present a problem though, and that is I cannot open the door and get in to grab the power regulator. Fortunately, the SRV has another extremely helpful feature. You can change loadouts on the fly. So I would just grab the Maverick suit and have this door open in no time.
Overload in progress. Overload complete. Entering pressurized environment.
And there you go, a settlement massacred and without power. A pretty evil mission to carry out, I will admit, but it's a lot of fun nonetheless. The SRV makes a very useful addition to missions for many reasons. It has heavy firepower and fast, if cumbersome, mobility. It can be used to recharge your suit or change loadouts on the fly, and has night vision capabilities, which at present, with no suit night vision, is extremely helpful. We're expecting the arrival of Phase 3 imminently, but if the results of Phase 2 are anything to go by, things are looking very good indeed.